Hello children, this video is for class 11th students, computer science subject. Already I have given the video 1, introduction to the computer. In that we have seen about the definition of computer. We have seen about what are all the input devices. We have seen about what is CPU, what is the output devices. Now we have seen about the bits, bytes, everything. So this is our second video for the class 11 students computer science subject. So here we are going to start with booting. So booting is nothing but we are switching on the computer, right? So after switch on, so we are pressing the CPU button. So that is called as booting. So booting is the process of loading the system files of the operating system from the disk into the computer memory to complete the circuitry requirement of the computer system. So for example, I am just pressing the CPU button, that is on button. When I press the on button, here it is going to that CPU. Inside it is going to have the OS. So this is going to load the system files. Okay, it loaded the system files of the operating system from disk into the computer memory. So now the circuit will be fully complete. So that next, if I am typing means from the keyboard, it will be accepting. I am using mouse, it will be accepting. So the circuit should be done. So here we have two types of booting. So what are the two types? One is cold booting, the other one is called as warm booting. The cold booting is if the computer is in off state now. Now I am going to press the switch on from the CPU box. Now the computer is in the off. Now only newly I am going to go and press the on switch from the CPU box. So that is called as cold booting. The next type is warm booting. Now the computer is already in the on state. Now I am going to restart by pressing the restart button from the CPU box. Have you seen two things? One is an on button will be there in CPU, the other one will be restart button. If the computer is in the off state, I am going to press the on button. It is called as cold booting. If the computer is already in the on state, but I want to restart it, now I am going to press the restart button. Or what is the other way to restart? Simultaneously I have to press at the same time Control, Alt and Delete. If I am pressing also, the computer will be restart. So this is called as the warm booting. Just have it in two mind. Cold means I am going to switch on button. Warm booting means it is the reset button. That is I am going to restart the computer. The next one we are going to see is types of computer. So we have several types of computer. First we can see the types based on the working principle. How it is going to give us the readings. The first one it is called as analog computer. Analog computer is a computer that uses continuous physical phenomena. It is going to give you a continuous value. Have you seen this thermometer under taters, how it will be showing? So 92, 93, 94, it is going to give some of the continuous physical value such as electrical, it is used in mechanical, hydraulic, etc. So thermometer, speedometer, petrol pump indicator, how it increases the petrol range, it will be showing over there. 0.5 liter, 1 liter, 1.5 liter. So it is a continuous physical thing. So multimeter. So these are all the one type of computer that is called as analog computer. In a single word it is continuous physical value. The next one is digital computer. The computer that performs calculations and logic operation that represent in a digits. What is digits actually? We know already. Binary number system. What the computer understands zeros and ones. So that is called as digital computer. The third type It is called as hybrid computer. Hybrid is nothing but combination of analog and digital. Combination of analog and digital. This computer accepts inputting and outputting in both the analog as well as digital signals. So this is called as the hybrid computer. Where it is used for the complex simulation. That is instruments as the medical sciences they are using. So that place they will use this hybrid because they need both the analog and digital value should be accepted and it has to show both the output also. So that type. So what are the three types? So one is the analog computer, the second one is digital computer, the third one is hybrid computer. Next on types of computer, we are going to see basis of size. So how it is big, small, fast. So based on that we are going to see it. So based on that, now we can see it as supercomputer. Have you heard this word? So this is the fastest type of fastest type of computer. So this computer is very expensive and it is used in the specialized application because more amount, cost will be more. So they will be used only for the specialized applications. For example, weather forecasting they are using with this. Other than this, it include animated graphics, fluid dynamics calculation, nuclear research also they are using it, petroleum exploration they are using it. Okay. So what are the examples? Param, PACE and Flow Solver are the supercomputers which is made in India. Supercomputer is fastest and it is very expensive. This is the picture of the supercomputer. So next one, the next type. Based on the size, we have seen the first type of computer. The second type of computer, it is mainframe computer. So this is very large and expensive computer capable of supporting hundreds, even thousands of multi-user. At the same time, many users can use this. Okay, so this is a hierarchy that starts with the simple microprocessor that is we are using in watch now. So from that it starts and it goes moves to the supercomputer at the top. In some ways, mainframes are more powerful than the supercomputer. That we should know it. Mainframes are more powerful than the supercomputer. Here the other one is it supports more simultaneous. What is simultaneous? At the same time. But supercomputer can execute a single program faster than. If it is a single program which is best, supercomputer is best. But if it want to execute more than one program at the same time, that is simultaneously, we have to move on to the mainframe computer. So this is a picture of the mainframe computer. The third type it is mini computer. From the name itself you can understand it is mid-sized, normal size, mid-sized computer. In size and power, mini computer lies between the workstation and the mainframe. Not so small or not it is very large. So the distinction between this is large mini computers and small mainframe. Between this it will be present over there. So here in general, mini computer is also a multi-processing system. That is more than one program can be executed at the same time. That is called as multi-processing. More than one process at the same time. So it can support 4 to 200 users simultaneously. They can work over it. Servers comes under this category. Server means so it will serve for many users. Okay, so servers, it acts as a mini computer, will act as a servers. Next one is microcomputer. So it is very small. Micro means it is small. So what are the microcomputers? This all we know. Desktop computer, laptop computer. The other one is it is the palm-top computer. We know what is desktop. It is a personal and a micro mini computer. Sufficient, we can keep in a table and we can work over it. The next is laptop computer. What is laptop? Usually we'll say it is portable. We can carry from one place to another place. Along with it we are getting the screen, keyboard, everything. It is smaller in size than the desktop. We can just keep it in our lap and we can work. But it is larger than the notebook. The next one it is called as the palm-top computer. That is within hand. It is a hand-sized computer. Okay, it is a hand-sized. So screen serves both as the input in the screen itself. We are touching and working over it. We can give the input and also we can get the output. The screen itself works as the input and output device over that. So it is supercomputer, mainframe computer, mini computer. Next one is micro. In micro we have 3 types: desktop computer, laptop computer, the other one is palm-top computer. The next comes under this. Based on the size we are seeing here, workstation. A terminal or desktop computer in a network. So more than one computer is connected together in a network. So this we call it as the workstation. So workstation is just a generic term for the user machine. So it is a client machine in contrast to a server or mainframe. So this all will be connected to one particular server. So this is the workstation. So based on size, we have seen what are all the different types of computers we have. The next one is, the important one is operating system. So each and every computer should have an operating system. When you are switched on, when you are booting the system, which is the first software it will be executing, the operating system. The operating system only gives the connection. It gives the circuit completing. So then only we can use the keyboard, mouse, everything it will be accepted by the CPU. So what are the different operating systems? We have several operating systems. The first one is Unix. So it should be pronounced as Unix. Popularly it is a multi-user. More than one user can use it. Multitasking. More than one program can be executed at the same time. Understand this two words. Unix is a multi-user, multitasking operating system. Multi-user means more than one user can use at the same time simultaneously. Multitasking is more than one program at the same time. So it has been created and developed by Bell Labs in early 1970s. Unix was one of the first operating system that has been written in high-level language. You know what is high-level language? English written language. Binary languages, zeros and ones. Okay. So this meant that it is installed on virtually on any computer. If there is C compiler, we can just install the Unix operating system and we can use the computer as such. So first one is Unix. Second is Linux. Linux. It is a freely distributed open source operating system. It can run on a number of hardware platforms. So this Linux kernel, it is developed mainly by the Linus Torvalds and it is based on Unix. So next level of Unix. Because it is free, it runs on many platforms including PC, Macintosh. Linux has become extremely popular and it is become an alternative to the Unix. So we have several operating systems, but main is Unix and Linux. Windows, all those things. In Windows itself, we have several versions of it. Next, software. What is software? Already we have heard this word. What is software? Software is nothing but a program. Program is nothing but a set of instructions. So it is simply a computer program. So the instructions given to the computer, we call it as the program. That program is called as the software. It is going to perform a specific task over it. The next one is types of software. So we have several types of software. The first is, it is called as system software. In system software, we are going to see about operating system software. What is operating system software? Already we have seen some example, Unix, Linux. Like that we have DOS, Windows XP, Windows Vista, Mac OS, etc. So these are the operating system. I have said no, what is operating? When you switch on, so this is the first software that will execute and complete the circuit over that. The second one is utility software, which we are going to use it. Windows Explorer, it has files and folders, compression tools, antivirus, you know that. Disk fragmentation, disk cleaning, even we have this disk cleaning, everything in your mobile also. Backup, WinZip. So these are all the utility software which we are going to use it. The third one is language processor. What is this language processor? Is actually compiler, interpreter and assembler. We can see separately what is compiler, what is interpreter and what is the assembler here. Okay. So next one is application software. So this is system software. In system, what are the softwares we have? We should have it. In system, we should have a good OS software, utility software as well as language processor. What are the application? Application is nothing but the programs. So what are the application software we have? Some is called as package software. The other one is called as custom software. Packages, already it has been, everything is present. Just we are going to open it and use it. MS Office. So before we have 2003, here we have 2007. Macromedia, Dream Media, Adobe, we have several packages over here. Custom software is we are going to create some software, some application, and according to the usage we are going to install in our system. For example, if it is a school, they can create for attendance or for maintaining the students list. So those are called as school management system. If it is an automobile company, they will have inventory management, stock maintenance. So if it is another company, they should give the pay for the employees. So they will maintain a payroll system, financial system. These are all according to the usage. They will create a application and it will be installed in the system. This is a package which is already present. We can open and use it. So this is called as the application software. So again, operating system, the most important thing. Operating system is a platform between hardware and the user. So this is responsible for all the activities and sharing the resources of the computer. If this operating system works only, will complete the circuit, then we can use all the resources like keyboard, the CPU will work, then the mouse will work. Okay, we can see it in the monitor, all the things. Okay, so operating system, it is an important software which we should have in our computer. What are the main functions of operating system? Processor management, memory management, file management, device management. So this is within the CPU. If you are switching on, the operating system only gives the control to the processor. Okay, you start working. It gives control to memory. Okay, you manage it. What are all the data it is coming, store it. Whenever they are asking, return it. File management. I am going to store within a particular files and folder. Whenever I need, I can search and get it. Device management is nothing but it may be the input device or output device, whichever connector. So all the things, these functions, it is carried out by the operating system. So we have different types of operating system. From the name itself, you understand. Real-time operating system. It is nothing but multitasking operating system. At the same time, we are going to use, many user is going to use it. So it is an example of nuclear power plant, oil refining, chemical processing, traffic control. Single user system. From the name itself, what you understand, it provides only one user at a time. Example, desktop. So if it is a desktop, only one person at a time, they are going to use it. So it is called as standalone system. Example, it is DOS mode, we will call it as. Multi-user system. What is multi-user from the name? So it is regulated and accessed by many users. That is, 2 or more users can simultaneously use it. That is called as within the time sharing. At the same time, so time will be allotted for one person and then the other. So all mainframe and multi-user system. Example, it is a Unix operating system. So for real time, so oil companies, they are using this. Single user example, what is the operating system? We need it in our desktop, DOS mode is enough. If it is a multi-user system, what we have to install? Unix. Multitasking and single tasking operating. What is multitasking? Already told. It is going to run several programs at the same time. Okay. So what is single task? Only one program at the time. This is called as multitasking and single tasking operating system. Distributed operating. What is distributed? So it has been given to many single computer. So it will appear in many single computer. It will be distributed. So the works will be run in one or more machine. After finishing the work, it will be grouped, and with the cooperation, the output will be given. So these are all the different types of operating system we have here. So it is a real-time operating system, single user, multi-user, multitasking. So these are all the operating system. So the other one important operating system, what it is Windows. As we all know, it is Microsoft Windows. So here the main thing is graphical interface operating system. So it is interactive. I am going to click the file, it is going to open it. If I click open with all the option, it has been present over there. So this is graphical user interface. In short, we'll call it as GUI, G-U-I. We can have this in personal computers. So over 90% of market share, it is overtaken by Mac OS. So what are the versions we have? Windows 7, Windows 2008. Now it has been recently we have mobile version also. The second one is, have you heard it is Solaris. Solaris is a Unix operating system. It is developed by Sun Microsystem. So it is called as Sun OS in 1993. Now we have Oracle OS. It has been done by the Oracle Corporation in January 2010. The next one, already we have seen that, right? A word called as language processor. Yeah. So what is this language processor is? Actually what the computer understands only zeros and ones. But how we are writing, whether we know to write with zeros and ones? No. We will write in the high level language. What is this HLL? High level language. We have to convert this high level language into machine understandable language, that is zeros and ones. For this, we need three language processor: compiler, interpreter, assembler. When you use this compiler, it will convert the high-level language into machine language in one go. Full program as it is, it will be converted from high-level language to machine language at one stretch. Interpreter, it is also similar, but here it will take line by line. It will take one line of high-level language and it will convert into machine code. It will be executed. Then it will go for the next line. It will be converted to machine language. It will be executed. So compilation, it will be taking place separately. Okay. So as a compiler is high level to machine language in one go. Interpreter is high level to machine language line by line. What is this assembler? Sometimes you will write for assembly language, add, sub, like that. So it translates the assembly language into the machine code. That time you will use the assembly language. So what are the three language processor? Compiler, interpreter, and the third one is assembler. So here we can finish this video 2. So the remaining in unit 1 we can see it in third video. Okay, so if you like this video, you subscribe the video so that easily you can get the next topics of unit 1. After finishing unit 1, we can go to the unit 2, etc. So if you have any doubt in this, please leave it in the comment box. Or if you want any topic in detail, that also you can write it in the comment box so that I can put it as a separate video for you. Okay, thank you.